Welcome back to the Monday Morning Quarterbacks Podcast, episode 30. We got Josh top left, Hefe top middle, myself top right, Connor bottom left. P is going to be off cam. He is driving right now in the bottom right, but
Hands-free.
he is joining us.
I'm hands-free driving.
Welcome back, boys. How we doing?
Magical.
And the podcast
Oh,
is
shit.
recording. Podcast is recording with your audios. So
Let's go.
that's good.
For now.
No re-record this week.
Good job.
Do we recap?
Let's do it. Week 7. I don't think I can ever bet on the Saints again after what the Broncos did to them on Thursday night. You want to touch on your Jags dub, Big P, and we'll go team to team
Yeah,
here?
I was happy about the Jags. Was a little worried when we came out slow down 10-0, but we got good old Tank Bigsby running for 100, and Trevor was looking pretty sharp. We didn't even need to use him in the fourth. We just ran the ball 19 straight times on the Pats, and I thought it was a good team win, a much needed team win in London. So
Love it. Seattle rolled against Atlanta, which was surprising to me. The whole pod swept Atlanta in the picks. I
That
believe.
was surprising.
Yeah, whole pod swept Atlanta in the picks. Geno Sam?
I can't tell if the Falcons blew it or if the Seahawks are good. Or maybe the Falcons just aren't good.
DK had that 100. Well, he technically had 99, but we were talking about the 100 and a lawn tutty, and he did have a lawn tutty. Bijan had over a hundo in that game. Bills rolled against Tennessee, to be expected. Cincy squeaked one out against the Browns. Deshaun's done for the year.
Amos.
lots of done for years this week, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Did they
Hey,
just
you?
trade for another quarterback?
No, they signed what's his name off the practice squad? Was it Ritter?
Yeah, it was Ritter.
I thought Ritter went to the Raiders.
Oh yeah, it was
Ritter
Ritter.
signed somewhere.
Oh, it was Zappy.
It was Rudolph?
It was Zappy.
Might
Yeah,
have been Rudolph.
Zappy.
It was Zappy. Ritter went to the Raiders. Zappy went to Cleveland.
Rudolph is starting for the Titans.
All right,
He said Ritter.
Your division, Connor. That's your division, dude. One of them. One of the three.
The Colts got a big win. Anthony Richardson looks like an MVP candidate, so that's exciting for you, Connor.
Hey, it has been pretty. It's honestly been really hard. But don't look now. The Colts have won 4 of their last 5. They might be the hottest team in the NFL. They haven't had a single solid team win in the last 5 weeks. But I mean, if you win them, you can't complain, right?
Looking at the stat lines for not only Anthony Richardson, like passing, and also the receiver stat lines, it's so frustrating for someone who has Josh Downs, Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, any passing game Colt player, because they're just unplayable when Anthony Richardson's at QB.
I don't know. If you look at the stats, Anthony Richardson, believe it or not, even though he had a bad game, played better than most quarterbacks have against Miami this season.
That's how bad Anthony Richardson is, though. 10 for 24 for 129 passing is like a stellar game for Anthony Richardson. No passing touchdowns.
I think the only reason Miami is playing so good against quarterbacks is because they're so bad. The other teams don't have to pass it; they just run the ball and run the clock out.
To his back, though.
I
I mean, it's only been true for like the last 3 weeks, but yeah.
Two
I think
is
it's
back.
deceiving.
Nonetheless, Colts still won though, so that's good. I picked the Colts. I rode with you, Connor. Can't make fun of the Colts too bad, but it's just bizarre seeing Packers were obviously playing, so I'm checking like stat line scores of all the other games, watching highlights and stuff, and I'm just like watching I think Anthony Richardson started at like 2 for 12 or something, and I was like, this is just actually insane. Like how can he just not complete any passes? It's crazy.
It is crazy though, because obviously JT being out does hurt the Colts a lot, and the Colts main running back behind JT was Trey Sermon, who's I don't think has a game more than 30 yards this year. So, I mean, you're one dimensional without JT.
I'm sure he did the first game that he started for JT.
Maybe 34 yards or something like that. Sermon's been pretty bad all season.
I don't know. He had like 18 fantasy points that week.
He did
The
have
fact
one week
that
where he did fantasy good. I don't know what his stats were. Packers squeaked one out. Packers played about as bad as we could have played, and still found a way to win. defense showed up and just completely shut down Stroud. Diggs did all his yapping pregame to put up like 30 yards receiving. And I mean, we got a kicker.
The Packers -3 turnover margin and still beat a good Texans football team. Imagine when the Packers are hot and playing mistake-free football. I feel great about this team.
This was one of
Yeah,
those.
North is crazy.
It is. But this was one of those weeks where I was like, and the leading up to this game, I've defended Jordan Love's picks, where it's like a lot of the picks haven't really been on him. Both the picks in this game were just 100% on him. But I mean, the picks are gonna be a thing when he's making throws like he made on that touchdown pass to Kraft in the back of the end zone where he just threaded it. I mean,
He's a gunslinger.
Yeah.
What
Big-
Josh Allen does.
big win for the Pack. Lions-Vikings was a good game too. Lions last-second field goal as well. Either the Lions fans want to touch on the Lions, Hefe, Connor?
He hit the big justice. Jake Bates hit the big justice dance after he hit the field goal. That was funny. But yeah, good game. No Hutch. Still pulled it out against an undefeated team. Like, it was a great game.
Forget what Jared Goff had. I think he only had like 2 or 3 incompletions, so he's been solid. He's on a nice run right now. So they're hard to stop. Obviously, J-Mo just got suspended for, I think, Viagra.
He's not suspended.
Huh?
He's not suspended yet. He's not suspended.
He's
So,
cutting
like,
out.
Not suspended yet.
But 2-game suspension, allegedly, is what it's going to be.
potentially coming down the pipeline. Yes.
But they
It's for
haven't
Viagra, right?
made it official.
If it was
I
for
don't know.
Viagra, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have got suspended 2 games.
I think it's illegal. I think it's something to. Well, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to get into it. But I do think it's a banned substance in the NFL.
Can't
All
believe
Viagra
Connor's
or
not a
just
doctor.
the name brand
Like,
Viagra?
anything that helps with like blood flow, right? So I'm not going
it,
to get into
it
it. but-
improves your blood flow.
But doesn't it focus on like a specific area, or does it improve blood flow
No, it's
everywhere?
just general blood flow. And Chad Ochocinco actually used to take it back in his day, and he said it helped him a ton. So
Connor does a lot of research into who's taking Viagra in the NFL.
Connor, how many milligrams of Viagra can I take without dying?
How do you guys feel about the Lions taking knees at the end to kick the field goal? I feel like that's a little crazy. Don't you just run it up the middle for a yard or two?
The ending of that game was crazy. The Monty fumble in that situation is crazy. That was unreal to watch. How do you fumble the ball in that situation? But yeah,
Our Gibbs Monty bet is tied up 6-6. We bet touchdowns. Who scored the most touchdowns this year? That's going to be a fun ride all season. It's just going to be back and forth. So
Gibbs is
So is
electric
DPJ.
when he's got the ball in open space. So fast. When he hit that juke, he just looks different there sometimes.
looking
I
at
love
the other
Gibbs.
games, Chiefs-Niners was another big one. The Chiefs are
Yep.
just inevitable. Like, I don't know how
They
that
used
team's
them.
ever going to, like, they just aren't
Now they
gonna
got
lose.
D-Hop. D-Hop.
Right, kid.
He-
Mahomes played about as bad as he could have played, and they still win by 10 against on the road in San Fran.
They could get a homeless dude off the street to play quarterback, and they would still win against most teams in the NFL.
Comparing Mahomes to homeless dudes now.
That's
I'm
crazy.
just saying.
Mahomes
I
also
don't know.
didn't have that electric run on the sideline where he tiptoed, looked like he was gonna step out of bounds, and then he just took it for an extra 30 to basically clinch the game. I feel like Mahomes is always due for one of those plays every game.
Chiefs are stupid. I hate the Chiefs.
The Jets suck still.
Yep. Let's go in there next. I mean, how do you have Rodgers, Tay, Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall,
And Brees Hall's your leading receiver.
and you're losing by 22 to
To
Russell
the
Wilson?
Steelers.
Thank you.
To the Steelers.
That's just crazy.
Mr. Unlimited.
I always find myself rooting for Rodgers just because I've defended him my whole life. But there's a part of me that at this point I would just. It's almost more entertaining to watch the implosion continue to happen. Oh,
This is crazy. So I just looked up this. Currently,
Viagra.
Rodgers' quarterback rating for the regular season is 82.2. And if you exclude last season where he played like 1 or 2 snaps, he literally hasn't had that bad of a rating since 2006, where he had 46 total yards. So this is the worst year of his career by far. He's definitely on the decline. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how the rest of the season shapes out.
He's not playing great, but also, like, where is his help? I feel like he actually played pretty decent in that Steelers game. I mean, that Garrett Wilson pick where he literally just hits him in the numbers, absolute dot on the sideline, and it goes for a pick down to the 1 yard line. That's kind of where the momentum changed in the game. Because at halftime of that game, I think the Jets were up 15-13, something like that. 15-14.
They were
Yeah, they
15-10.
were up. They were up
15-10
at
maybe?
half, 15. It's 15-13 half.
Okay, and then the Steelers just had 24 unanswered, and it started with that play.
Well, that other pick, like the first pick Rodgers had over the middle, that was a crazy play by that defender. Like when the defender's back is turned to the ball, Rodgers is like, "Oh, I have a free pass," and that defender turned around, one-handed it over the middle. I think that guy they said was a 6th round rookie.
It was
Dude,
the
that
same
was
guy.
like the same guy. Yeah, that pick was crazy. So I don't even blame Rodgers that much on that pick.
He's trying
That
to
was
get
just a
both
crazy-
those balls signed by Rodgers.
I think Rodgers said something about it in the post game. He said he would do it or something. I don't know what he said.
Ravens, Derrick Henry is just an unstoppable force. Like,
He's Thanos.
him and Lamar combined. Lamar threw for 5 touchdowns, no picks. 5th time he's done that in his career. He joins like an elite group of quarterbacks that have done that. And Derrick Henry also goes for 170 just casually. I mean, I don't know. This guy's line is going to be 100 every week on these books, and I don't know how you're betting the under. Because every time it gets to the 4th quarter, Derrick Henry breaks a 70, 80-yarder every week.
They tired.
You want to touch on your Chargers, the last game of the slate, and we'll move over to the next week?
350 yards with that receiving core. Get Herbo some help. And you can't score a touchdown? I mean, shout out Dicker the kicker, but yeah, that was brutal.
The touchback fumble was brutal, too. I mean, there was a couple weird plays in that game.
Yeah.
But
Rager.
also,
Do you believe that guy got drafted before Jay Jettis?
that's so crazy. That is crazy.
That is wild.
Do you want to talk about how ESPN Plus is just scamming us? I couldn't even watch that game. We have to have
I
literally a
didn't
million
even-
streaming platforms to be able to watch every game.
Yeah, I literally didn't even watch the Chargers Cardinals game. I should boycott the NFL.
Yeah, it's actually
Scott
insane.
Hansen giving updates on the Manning cast.
You got to have Amazon Prime, Paramount, Peacock, NFL Sunday
Not
Ticket,
What's on Paramount?
and ESPN
That-
Plus.
Netflix is
And you
Christmas
have to have
this year.
And
NFL
Netflix.
Plus and you have to have NFL Plus if you want to watch the preseason, I think.
How are they getting away with this? How did
They're
they
not.
keep
They're
getting
being-
away with this?
They're being sued right now.
It's crazy. Oh, off topic. Well, we don't even have to talk about this. I was going to talk about I don't know if you guys ever bought Juuls, but Juuls just had an insane, like, Juul, the, like, puff thing, had an insane payout lawsuit-wise, and people are literally getting Venmo'd, like, tens of thousands of dollars if you have, like, proof that you bought Juul. Anyway. On to week 8 of the NFL, boys. Josh McDaniels might have a little lawsuit on his hands. Might be getting a little refund. But let's start for the game today for all the listeners. It is the Vikings at the Rams. And this might be the biggest Vegas trap I've seen all year. It's Vikings -3 over under 48.5.
That's crazy. Why did they
Vikings
do that?
-3. You think it's a trap?
It's 100% a trap.
Do you think that the Rams are going to cover?
I think the Rams are going to find a way to win this game straight up. But it's just like, so how are the Vikings only 3-point favorites when the Rams have just been kind of like demoralized, hurt team? They do get Cup back this week. Sounds like they're trying to trade Stafford and Cup.
Yeah, they're trying
Vikings
to
have
trade
been
every-
arguably the hottest team in the NFL. I don't know how the Vikings are 3-point favorites here, but very interesting.
What order do you guys want to do? I went first last week, so I would like to be able to have the choice to copy some people.
I think Josh goes first again because he just said that.
Should we go bottom? Let's go bottom up. Let's start. We'll go P, Connor, me, Jeff, Josh. I feel like I get stuck at the end a lot, and I'll work in the middle.
I'm gonna give this week my best shot to go over 500 for the first time this season.
Same.
And I'm gonna start off by picking the Minnesota Vikings.
Safe pick.
Yeah,
safe pick.
I'm also on Minnesota. Like Jake said, they're trying to sell Stafford and Cup, so that tells me the management in LA doesn't think they can compete with high-level teams like Minnesota. So I'm gonna pick Minnesota here.
Even though I just kind of hyped up the Rams and how this is a trap, I just can't. I can't. I'm gonna fall into it, and I'll pick Minnesota here. I just don't see how the Rams come in a situation where Cup is gonna get traded. Stafford's probably gonna get traded. I guess the only thing you could play, if you're betting on the Rams, is you're playing that this might be the last game Cup and Stafford play together, and they are best friends. So you could play the legacy game. Stafford just feeds Cup 50 times.
Package trade.
And I guess they are playing not necessarily for themselves. They are playing 100% for themselves, especially if they are possibly going to get traded. So that's out there, but I'm going to take Minnesota.
I might do this beer mile. Who cares? Content. I'm gonna go the Rams here. I keep going back to the stat of 65% win rate off of a bye. You're getting your guys back healthy. Jahmyr Gibbs just ran all over Minnesota, so I think Kyron can do the same thing.
Home dog.
Yeah, home dog too. So.
I don't hate that pick, Jeff. I think McVay is a great coach, as you can tell, because was once the youngest. He's so young, and there's 3 or 4 other head coaches in the NFL that started in McVay's tree. So I don't think it's ever a crazy pick to pick a McVay team. So don't hate it.
Thanks.
I hate it. I think it's a terrible pick. I think the Vikings win this game by a lot. Does anyone know? Is there any rumors of where Stafford or Cup are getting traded to?
I heard rumors of Stafford
Pittsburgh
going to the Vikings.
That's what I heard too. Yep. Yeah, because Darnold, they can trade Darnold for some picks, and then they still got JJ, who's hurt this year. But I mean, Darnold's only 25 or something like that.
Well, Darnold's been playing out of his mind this year. Why are they trading him?
But look what he's. I think they're more thinking he's kind of system, because he's just throwing to Jettas, Jordan Addison. They get Hawkinson back this week. Aaron Jones has been playing really good. They just have an offensive weapons, and also the defense has kind of been playing out of their minds too, minus last week.
They had to give up a lot to get JJ too. I think they had to move up in the draft, didn't they?
They moved up 2 spots, and then Sean Payton did a dance in his room and said he's a mastermind. Yeah, the Vikings are going to win by a lot. It would be crazy if Stafford went to the Vikings after this game.
What if Stafford beats the Vikings and then goes to the Vikings? Really played himself. Yeah, that's interesting. Let's move on to the next game. We got the Eagles at the Bengals. Since he's minus 2.5, over under 47.5 in this game.
Oh, I'm starting. Sorry. 2 underachieving teams, in my opinion. I don't understand the minus Cincy here. I don't care where it's played. I'm going to ride Philly. I think they're a little bit more of a sound team. At least Saquon's, going to eat this Bengals defense that's just been letting running backs flood them. So I'm going to go Philly here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad pick. I like the way Saquon's been running all year. I mean, he's insane. He's playing out of his mind. If Derrick Henry wasn't playing the way he was playing, I think Saquon would be getting a lot more attention. But at the end of the day, I mean, these are 2 even teams in my opinion, and one is coached by Nick Sirianni, so I'm going to pick the Bengals here.
Classic fade Sirianni.
Yep. I knew that pick was coming from Connor. I was on the Eagles last week against the Giants. I think I'm hopping off them this week. Not because I'm not anything against the Eagles. I think the Eagles are a better team than what they've played so far. I'm more so betting on Cincy in another game where they're 3-4 right now, fighting to get back to 500. They just didn't even look that good last week when I thought they were going to come out and just smoke. Who they played? The Browns. Ended up having a closer game than it probably should have been. But give me Cincy. I'm still a Joe Shiesty believer, and I think they'll get it turned around.
Yeah, this is a good matchup, I think, because Philly's secondary sucks, but the Bengals' run defense sucks. I feel like the Bengals are being overvalued here. They won 2 straight, but they beat the Giants and the Browns. So, like, what's the point? I'm going Philly.
What's the point? Saquon's going to control this game. Eagles are better. That's it. That was the end of my analysis.
Cincy's got like a nice dual threat backfield too that doesn't get too much talk. And Chase Brown and Zach Moss have both been playing pretty solid.
I like Chase Brown.
Alrighty, moving on to the next game, we got the Ravens at the Browns. Ravens are minus 8.5, over under 44.5. Is this a sweeper, boys?
Yeah, I'm on Ravens here.
I think the next two might be sweepers. I'm on the Ravens as well.
Yeah, how can you not be on the Ravens? But I do love Jameis.
I love Jameis too, actually, and I am
I
going to be
love
betting.
Jameis.
I'm going to be
like
betting
Chubb
on
too.
Elijah Moore, probably Njoku.
I think
Charles
Njoku gets
Tillman.
fed. Gary Judy?
Judy will be involved. I like betting on all those guys this week now that they actually have a guy that can throw the ball.
Gunslinger. And he's going to be hyping him up in the locker room and on the field.
And Chubb's back too officially. Well, he was back.
It
last
would be
week, but
such a statement if Jameis found a way. It would be such a statement that Browns fans' season is not over. If they
It
can
is a
win this.
division game.
I know.
And division games are always weird.
It's a lot of points.
are.
8.5. It's a lot of points, especially in the NFL. Any given week.
Not for Lamar and Derek.
Yeah, it's hard to bet against them with how they've been playing. Moving on to the biggest favorite of the week. Lions are minus 11 at home against the Titans. Over under 44.5. Is this another sweeper, boys?
Yeah, I'm on the Lions. Can't take the Titans again here.
Lions.
Yeah, I'm on the Lions too.
Lions and they cover.
Should be a nasty game.
I don't think Mason Rudolph's too much better than Levis, and that's saying a lot because Levis is really bad.
Really bad.
And they just traded away D-Hop. Not that he's had any impact on their offense this year because they just cannot get it to their receivers, but
How does D-Hop change the Chiefs? Does D-Hop become a monster on the Chiefs now, or is he just kind of there like Juju?
Juju's
Wait
not,
for the Chiefs game.
Juju is out this week too, so that's we can wait for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. Getting ahead of ourselves here. We got the Cardinals at the Dolphins. Dolphins are minus 3.5, over under 45.5. Tua is back.
Who is back?
Tua's back. Sorry, what's up?
I was gonna say, what are the chances Tua is concussed in this game? But I
Bad
figured I could
juju.
I
just
don't
wait.
even want to talk. I don't even want
Bad
to talk
juju.
like that. Yeah, I don't even want to talk like
Positive vibes only.
that. Positive vibes only. I don't know, like coming off of. I just question with his head. Like his head seems pretty in the game because I saw them ask if he's gonna wear a Guardian cap, and he was just like almost insulted that someone asked him that question. So he seems locked in. My gut is telling me to go Arizona, but my brain is telling me to go Miami. I'm gonna follow my brain this week, so I stay over 500 or get to over 500 for the first time. I'm gonna pick Miami.
It's a good pick. I agree with you. The heart and the mind are saying two different things here. Fun stat: Kyler Murray hasn't won back-to-back games since he came in the NFL, which is just crazy. So I don't know, man. They lost last week, so
Oh, they
it's a toss-up. I saw Tyreek Hill was pretty excited to have Tua back. I think that offense is going to look a lot better, but I'm still going to pick Arizona here.
The Cardinals won last week.
Yeah.
Did they?
We're talking about Miami.
Cardinals beat the Chargers on Monday night.
Yeah, Cardinals beat the
Yeah,
Chargers.
yeah. That's another reason why I'm not picking them. Then.
You were picking the Cardinals.
You just said Cardinals.
Oh yeah, never mind. I mixed up. Sorry. You guys confused me. Yeah, I'm riding Cardinals.
You are riding Cardinals?
What?
What is going
What
on
did
here?
I can't, dude.
This guy. Tyreek Hill said, fire up those computers, fire up ESPN, Sleeper, and put me back in the starting lineup. We're back, baby. That's what he said.
Love that.
So he said, start me in all your fantasy leagues. We're so back. Just having Tua back. I'm going to take the Dolphins, and I think they're just going to get right back into who they were offensively. And you see how important Tua is to that offense when they didn't have him. Give me the Dolphins here.
Has he been practicing with the Dolphins at all? Like, are you allowed to practice on IR?
If he's gonna play, I can't.
I-
This guy makes
I'm
me
not
wanna blow
talking. I'm not talking this week. Obviously, he's practicing this week. I'm talking the last 3-4 weeks. Has he been able to practice at all?
No,
He's
'cause
been
I
able to
don't
be
think
at
he
practice, but he's not like
Yeah.
participating.
Gotcha. Okay.
He was
So we
handing
can't.
out water bottles.
Trying to avoid getting hit without any pads on, avoiding flying footballs. He had to wear a bubble around his head.
Okay, can I go?
No one's talking. So yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know what outrageous thing you're gonna say next. I'm doing the same thing with Miami off a bye. Wait, they're not off a bye, are they? No, they just played the Colts.
The
But
pod,
they're healthy.
pod is lost today. Tensions are high.
Here we go. Here we go.
A-Chain, Tyreek, Tua. I'll take the Dolphins. Cardinals are fucking weird.
Yep. Part of me thinks Tua is going to come out and have a statement game and throw for 4 or 5 touchdowns. Part of me thinks he's going to be concussed and retire. I don't know. My brain's telling me to pick the Cardinals, but my gut's telling me to pick the Dolphins. And I also have Tua in fantasy, so I can't decide if I should start him or watch him get concussed in the first quarter and lose again.
You should start Andy Dalton again over Trevor Lawrence and lose your matchup because
If Andy Dalton, maybe if he didn't get in a car crash, I would think about it.
Yeah. Damn.
I'll take the Dolphins, I guess, just because the Cardinals' offense is completely broken, and there's a chance Tua comes out and just has a statement game.
Connor's riding solo on the Cardinals. Alrighty, let's move on.
Mark-
We got
Mark doesn't exist either.
That's
Fuck
why.
no.
the Jets at the Patriots. Jets are -7 over under 40.5.
Yeah, I'm on the Jets. One thing I learned from the Jags was that you just have to run halfback dives 20 times. And Brees Hall might be slightly better than Tank Bigsby. So I think Brees is going to have like a career high in yards, and the Jets are not even going to rely on Aaron Rodgers to win this football game.
Yeah, it is interesting because I saw Braylon Allen was getting a lot of work early in the season, and then obviously with the changes, Brees Hall's been the guy there. So yeah, I'm riding Jets here. I mean, I like New England to cover, but I'll pick the Jets to win.
I'm on the Jets as well. I think this is an easy get back spot for them. Although it is a spot for the Patriots where there's just absolutely no pressure. Drake May gets to play against one of his idols and Aaron Rodgers. Just a very young team that has nothing to lose, going against a team that has literally everything to lose and all the pressure of they must win. So kind of interesting spot, but I'll take the Jets here.
Jets.
Jets. Robert Saleh visiting the Packer headquarters today at practice. Interesting.
Helping with offensive plays or something. What did it say?
I don't know.
Something with offense, which is not. He's not an offensive coach. But yeah. Jets.
I keep picking the Jets, and they keep breaking my heart. I would like. I mean, Brees Hall should run through the Patriots, but I don't think Aaron Rodgers can allow Brees Hall to take over the game on the ground. I feel like Rodgers is desperate to throw a couple touchdowns to Devontae Adams, so I think Rodgers might just try to take control at some point. I guess I'll take the Jets again, but I want to take the Patriots really bad.
Okay. We got the Falcons at the Bucks. A battle in the NFC South. Falcons are minus 2.5. Over under 46.5. No Godwin. No Evans. Despair.
Yeah. Despair for Bucks fans. I'm gonna go Falcons here. I don't know what the Bucks' identity is gonna be the rest of this year, because like even when one's down, you can just instant shift your focus to like lock the other one down. So like, I think no Godwin and no Evans is just gonna be an absolute travesty. We'll see if they can get some kind of ground game going. I like the running backs back there, but I think a lot of why they were working in the past was because there was so much attention on the receivers. So I'm interested to see how they shift their offensive identity, but I have to go Atlanta to win this one.
Yeah, I'm also gonna pick Atlanta. I just Buccaneers don't have anyone to throw to. I think the main reason Baker's looks so good is because he's got 2 top 15 wide receivers to throw to, and now they're both gone this week. I think the top receiver on the team is Sterling Shepard. I didn't even know he was in the league. Last time I heard his name was like 4 years ago. So yeah, I'm not gonna take Buccaneers here. I'm gonna ride with the Atlanta.
It's interesting too because I think the weapons on offense, obviously without Godwin and Evans, everyone's kind of picking up like Jalen McMillan, Sterling Shepard. I think the offense is going to shift to run heavy, Cade Otton in the pass game. And the Bucs pass so much to their running backs anyway. They have a 3-headed monster back there. 3 really good running backs in Rachaad White, Bucky Irving, and then the third rookie there. I forget his name, but he had the 1 week. What is it?
Sean Tucker.
Sean Tucker, that's it. He had the 1 week where he popped off, and he came in and made some plays even last week. So I think their offense, which has been super pass heavy, is going to shift a little bit more run heavy. But it's hard to pick a banged up Tampa team, so I'm going to ride Atlanta as well.
I'm going to be stupid and take the banged up Bucks. They lost to the Falcons, 3 weeks ago in Atlanta in a divisional game in Tampa. Are they playing in Tampa after the hurricane? Do they have a stadium?
It's in Tampa.
Do it for the hurricane,
Hurricane game.
There's going to be some passion behind the boys playing for Mike and Chris.
Yeah. They had a home game this past week, so every home game is going to be a Hurricane game. I agree with everything Jake said. The Buccaneers are going to transform the offense into a run the ball down your throat and hit Cade Otton from the power eye. But I think the Falcons are still going to win. I got the Falcons.
Alrighty, let's move over to Josh and Jake versus Big P. We got the Packers at the Jaguars in Jacksonville. Green Bay's -4, over under 49.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna get us started here. Even though the Jags was really good, that New England team did go up 10-0. And the defense still looks sus. And the Pack are not gonna let you like that 20 times in a row. I'm gonna take the Pack here. I think if they can get out early, that they got the team to like possibly blow them out or at least maintain that lead. The one thing you don't want to do is turn over the ball against this defense because they're not good. So if you give them the ball and you just let Trevor and that offense do what they did in New England, which is just milk that clock, you might be in trouble. But I think Green Bay's got the obviously better team here, and I'm still taking them even after the big Jags win last week.
Yeah, I agree. Green Bay's just a better team in every way. I mean, especially their weapons on offense. I mean, it doesn't matter who it is. It's Dobbs 1 week. It's Reed the next week. Wake's the next week. It's They could beat you with anybody. So Jacksonville just can't keep up with them, I don't think.
I think this game, I felt very confident that we were going to smoke Houston last week. I feel like this is going to be kind of a weird game for us where I think it's going to be close. And I think it's going to be one of those games where like the Packers get ahead by a couple touchdowns and we just completely take our foot off the gas. And Jacksonville's just driving to possibly like win the game on the final drive. And I'm like, how did the Jags even get back in this game? It makes no sense to me. This is probably going to be one of my favorite games to bet. Obviously, I love betting on the Packers, and I don't bet Packers to win or lose. I just don't put my bias into it, but I love betting the props. Evan Ingram, I absolutely love against the Packers this week. I feel like when we do get beat in the pass game, it's typically over the middle, and I feel like Evan Ingram is going to kill us, assuming he plays. He's questionable again. And then on the Packers side, I think Jaden Reed gets back on track and has a big week. We'll see. Go Pecco. I'm picking the Packers, so.
I want to see Brian Thomas Jr. go for 1,000,000 yards. But I think the Packers are going to win.
Yeah, I think the Packers are going to hang 50, at least 50. I think Jaden Reed's going to have a big week this week as well.
Alrighty, we shift from the Packers for Josh and I and the Jags and P over to the Colts with Connor. We got the Colts at the Texans. Battle of two winning teams, 4-3 versus 5-2. Houston's -5, over under 45.5 in this game. Why is that line so low? I feel like this is screams over.
That line's really low, and the last time these guys played was week 1, I believe, and it was an absolute shootout. I think Houston's really been struggling. So, like, they looked like they had something going with Joe Mixon early, and now it's like I feel like they're struggling to run the ball. I'm gonna take Indy here. I'm gonna go with my first dog on the slate. I don't know what's going on with Houston, but they kind of like how the Lions looked the week that I picked the Buccaneers to beat them. Where like it's a great team, but there's just something a little off with them, and I think they're gonna drop a game this week, another game. So I'm gonna take Indy here.
Love that, P. Yeah, I think a lot of casuals just kind of look at this and then just kind of write in Houston. But historically, over the last couple of years, every single game we played with Houston has been super close. We've lost 3 of the last 4, but the one that we won was the biggest blowout in the last few years. We won by 11 in 2023. And then we lost by 2 earlier this season, and then obviously lost by 4 at the end of last season to miss the playoffs. It's every time we play him, it's going to be really close. Stroud's not playing great, less than 100 yards last week, I think. Colts have a bad secondary, but somehow have been able to keep the Dolphins and the Titans at bay. Not somehow. I mean, obviously you're playing against Levis and those guys, but I just like the Colts this week. I think Anthony Richardson has a big bounce back game. I think this is my my lock of the week. I don't know if you can bet this anywhere, but Anthony Richardson over 60% completion rate. I think he's going to have a game.
I don't think you can. I don't think I've seen a book where you can bet completion percentage, but that's interesting.
I mean,
if there's a bet I'm going to make, I mean, that's on the last of my mind based on how Anthony Richardson's been throwing the ball. I'm on Houston in a big bounce back spot here. If there's going to be a game where CJ Stroud's going to get back on track, it's got to be this one. He's honestly just got to ride it out, I think, until Nico gets back, because Nico and his connection's just unreal. And they're going to have to involve guys other than Stephon Diggs. I mean, you can't – Tank Dell didn't even have a catch last week. You got to get Dell involved, even if it's just little screen plays, getting them going. You got to get Schultz involved. And like P was saying, why – if they can just get Mixon going, like, he's a problem as well. Love the over in this game, and give me Houston in a nice bounce back spot.
It's worth noting that JT is a problem. So.
You said that last week too. It's worth noting you said
we've been saying this for a month now. I don't know what's going on. It's really hush, but yeah, he should. I think he's going to play. I have a good feeling.
You talk about Edgar.
Is he going to follow the NFL trend where he plays the first play of the game so he avoids every single bet and then just doesn't play again and ends up in the hospital with a sickness?
Sickness.
Some of these teams need to get fined for that because it's BS. Or the sports books need to refund us because I'm sick of betting props and then 2 minutes into the game, my guy that I bet on played 2 snaps and he's out the rest of the game with an illness. It's like, what do you?
What's that?
Debo did it last week. Another one did it in the 4:00 games. Juju did it in the 4:00 games. It happened with like 4 or 5 guys last week where it was just complete BS. Where they like played, they came in for a series and then they were just out the rest of the game.
Just bet all the unders.
Did everyone pick on this game? I think I won. Are you up, Pefe?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a casual and I'm picking Houston.
I was gonna make that joke as well. The Texans need Nico, and the Colts have Anthony Richardson playing quarterback. So I'll pick the Texans because Mixon.
It's like that Spider-Man meme. Anthony Richardson standing across from.
And then Nico and
Collins being out is
Nico
huge.
and
Because,
Price.
historically, Nico Collins has torched the Colts. He's played him 6 times, and in 6 games, he's got 28 catches for 528 yards and 2 touchdowns. So no Nico
It's
this
not
game.
even 100 yards a game.
He was also leading the NFL in receiving when he got hurt.
Yeah, so that's I think that's a big
need
difference.
him.
This game.
Nico's not playing, is he?
No,
No.
Oh, okay.
Moving
On
on.
IR.
Yeah, he's got at least. I think he's got this week, next week off, and then potentially can come back. Saints at the Chargers. Chargers are -7 for Hefe. Over under 40.5.
It is incredibly hard to pick this game. Do we know who's starting quarterback for the Saints this week?
Rattler. They announced it already.
Yeah, I mean, I suspected. Man, I'm gonna go Chargers here. From what I've seen from Rattler, is he can give you a flash, but it's very brief, and then he gives you look at that rookie. I'm gonna go with Chargers here. I think they just have like solid like defense. Run game, like they do the fundamentals right, and I think they're gonna get a couple of turnovers. They're gonna win that turnover margin and win the turnover possession margin, and those are the 2 things that really need to win a football game. That's what Jim Harbaugh does. So I think they're gonna win the Saints game here.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, Spencer Rattler through a few games has 415 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and a QBR of 37.3, which is atrocious. So I can't pick that. I'm gonna ride with New Orleans here, or sorry, the Chargers here.
You're so confusing.
I'm on the Chargers as well. Rattler's stats have looked really bad, but I think he's looked a lot better than what his stats show. He just makes those game-changing mistakes where he had a defensive touchdown where he just he didn't know what to do with the ball. He was getting sacked, and he just like gave it to the defense for a touchdown, which didn't count. And then he did the exact same thing later in the game to give the defense a touchdown. It's like he's just making like dumb mistakes. But he's looked good throwing the ball, I think. And Jake Haener even looked decent when he came in and led a garbage time touchdown. But I don't know. It's the Chargers just got to get something going on offense. If QJ's back in the lineup, hopefully he can get something going. Maybe feed Ladd a little bit more. But I mean, who is their tight end? Hayden Hurst, I think it was. Is that right? Or Disley?
Yeah.
Was it Disley or
Will
Hurst?
Disley.
Disley.
Will Disley.
Yeah,
And
Disley-
Stone Smart.
When Disley's your leading 10 targets, 8 catches guy, I mean, I don't think he's going to be your explosive player on offense. They got to look to get the run game going with JK. Get Keimani Vidal involved out of the backfield. But I'll take the Chargers.
I'm surprised how big of a spread this is. 7 points. With 2 like not great offenses, but I mean, how can you bet on the Saints after they just got rolled by the Broncos and the Chargers smoked them? So Chargers.
Yep. I'll take the Chargers as well. I think Rattler will look better in this game, though. I mean, it's impossible to not look better, but I think he'll actually look like an okay NFL quarterback in this game. Is
Sweep.
Olave playing? We have no idea on Olave yet.
Practiced in a limited fashion today.
I don't think it's cleared yet officially though.
It's
Yeah.
worth noting Rattler did say he would feed Olave if Olave did play. So
Well, he fed him, and then Olave got concussed on like the second play of the game.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so that'd be interesting. I like Rattler in the long term. I think he's gonna be decent in the league. I don't know if he'll ever be like, I don't know. I think he could be a solid starter in the league at some
He could
point.
be Danny Dimes. He could turn into Danny Dimes. He's lucky.
What a slap in the face. At least he'll get his money if that happens.
Exactly.
We got the Bills at the Seahawks. Bills are -3, over under 46.5.
Man, it is just the consistency. I mean, these are two teams where the Bills have been, pretty consistent, but they had those couple of games in there, like the Ravens won, that really make you like, how did that happen if you're so good? And the Seahawks, I keep thinking they're bad, and then they actually look like decent on defense and offense. I am going to just pick my favorite MVP candidate, Josh Allen, in this one. I think he just changes games like no other, and I do think the extra week of Coop being in there, like Coop's literally looking out to a rookie, like before he catches a touchdown, just like double checking, hey man, am I supposed to go score a touchdown? He's like, yeah, and then he goes and scores the touchdown. I think Coop is going to be crazy once he actually doesn't have to check in with the 20-year-old on what he's doing. And I think that's going to just continue to flourish this week. So give me Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm also on Buffalo. I do like Seattle a lot this week. And I'd probably pick him if DK was 100% healthy. But he just had an MCL sprain. He's still questionable. So he could play this week, but obviously if he does, he's not going to be anywhere near 100%. So yeah, give me Buffalo. Yeah.
All I needed to hear out of Pete's mouth was Josh Allen MVP. Give me my MVP to have a big game against Seattle. Love the over in this game as well. I think it'll be a shootout. Love what P also said about Amari Cooper getting involved. I mean, he had a good week. Not even knowing the playbook, not even knowing which way to run on half these plays. Still caught a tutty. Keon Coleman went over 100, his first 100-yard game as a young guy in the league. James Cook's a monster out of the backfield. When that offense is clicking, they're just so good. I mean, Seattle just puts up points too. That's why I like the over. So I think this will be one of the more fun games to watch. But give me my MVP, Josh Allen.
Yeah, I'll go Bills too. Seahawks
Sounded like-
always they scare me.
Sounds like you're thinking of the beer mile by picking the Bills there.
I'm always
Okay.
thinking about the beer mile.
What pick gets me further away from the beer mile?
I'm gonna go Bills too.
Yeah, I'll take the Bills. But I also got Geno throwing a lot of yards when the Bills are up like 20 points.
We swept the
That's how it
Bills.
goes.
The pod swept the Bills. Bunch of Josh Allen fans. All the Josh Allen haters are slowly going back into the weeds. Slowly just It's like that Homer Simpson meme where he's like slowly disappearing into the fern.
I'm still a hater. I just
I
don't
still
believe
don't
in
like
the
Josh
Saints
Allen.
or the Seahawks.
I do not like Josh Allen.
He's exciting to watch, you know?
He's got to be the most fun quarterback to watch in the league. Well, honestly, Jordan Love's been really
Lamar.
freaking fun to watch too.
Lamar.
Lamar's his top 3.
Josh Allen's like the 5th most fun quarterback to watch.
You know who's sneaky fun to watch? Who I just kind of like
Anthony
realized
Richardson.
is fun to watch? Brock Purdy.
Baker.
Brock Purdy.
Yeah, Brock.
Baker's fun to watch too, actually. But Brock Purdy extends a lot of plays and makes some crazy
The
throws.
improvisers. I
Good
like
and
all the
bad.
improvisers.
I love watching Anthony Richardson play.
They honestly got to do something for the safety of the fans when Anthony Richardson's playing, because balls are flying everywhere.
I gotta say, so we switched to sleeper a couple years ago in fantasy, and I love how that you can like comment after the performance, just whatever. I looked at Anthony Richardson's, and it's just straight slander, and it's I don't know, it's kind of funny, but
Anthony Richardson's taking slap shots out there. They need to put up some netting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I honestly thought I might be on the Bills alone there. With P's kind of been on the Bills train with me, but outside of that, I know there's been a lot of Bills slander on the pod, so that was interesting. Let's move on over. We got the Panthers at the Broncos. Broncos are -10, over under 41.5.
Yeah, I mean, I think it sounds like we might potentially be getting some Bryce Young, potentially, depending on how Andy's recoveries from his car crash this morning go.
They announced him as the starter already this week.
He's starting.
Bryce is official? Okay.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting storyline to watch. If he didn't have confidence before he got benched, and the only reason he's coming back into the game is because the starter got in a car crash, I don't think it's going to be any different than the first time we experienced Bryce Young. And that Denver team, they're looking real well oiled. And I know they just played Spencer Rattler in the Saints, which I think is going to be a very similar experience to like what we're going to get out of Bryce and the Panthers. So I think we're going to get Denver here. Pretty safe pick, but I like what I'm seeing out of everything on Denver. I like their run game. I like what Bo Nix is doing, extending plays, and their defense has been really, like, even without Passer Tane, just really, like, pass rush was there every time, and, yeah, it's going to be a good Denver win.
yeah, I've been on Denver a lot this year, and I'm definitely gonna be on them this week against Carolina. You said Bryce Young is starting this game?
That's what they said.
Gotcha. I do think Bryce probably gives him a better shot to win. And I don't get, you spend the first overall pick on a player and then you pull him after what, like 17, 18 games. I think you got to see what you have in him. And that's more than just one season. So, that's discussion for another day, but yeah, I'm riding Denver here.
I get it to a certain point. I mean, I feel like they've definitely gotten their fair share. They've seen what they gotten in them. It's hard when Andy Dalton came out his first game and like threw for 3-4 touchdowns, 300 yards, and like lit it up and did exactly what Bryce Young hasn't been able to do. But Dalton looked awful last week, so who really knows? I guess they get to a couple more games with the Bryce Young experience, which is not going to be fun for any Carolina fan. And I think Denver's just going to roll. I think Denver might outscore them on defense. It's going to be Denver.
Love that take.
I'd be sharp here and take the Panthers.
That sounds very
my
sharp.
my NFC South winning team. Yeah, no, I'm taking the Broncos.
The king is back.
I said 2 weeks ago or last week that I'm not picking the Panthers anymore.
Yeah. Give us some time. You'll be back.
They always come back.
Next year.
If the Panthers were playing a defense that wasn't amazing, I would say Bryce Young comeback. But I don't think it's going to go well for the Panthers. And I think Javonte is going to dominate on the ground.
I want to see some of those other backs get a little bit more involved. Stemme. Trying to see what they got in the Stemme.
I would
And
love to
Jaleel.
see only Javonte. Only
And
Javonte.
Jaleel.
No.
Yeah.
Jared McCain is in the game. My TikTok king.
Shout out NBA. NBA is back,
Shout out
boys.
NBA season underway.
Love it. Moving on, we got the Chiefs at the Raiders. Chiefs are -10, over under 41.5. Is this going to be a sweeper as well, boys? A lot of kind of stinker games this week. I feel like there's been a lot of competitive games, but
This is not a sweeper game.
Uh-oh. Whoa.
I'm taking the fucking Raiders here.
Oh no.
Whoa.
That's a great pick.
Oh no.
Thank you. There's some animosity and a little AFC West rivalry here.
Whoa.
Last year they got into it. So give me Max Crosby to break Mahomes' leg.
Max
Yes,
Crosby
I love
hates
it.
Mahomes.
I
hates
love that
Mahomes.
prediction. I would love to see a serious injury happen to Mahomes.
What is wrong with you guys? You guys are
Yeah,
all
bro.
crazy. What are we doing here?
I'm not hoping for it, but Max Crosby hates
And
Mahomes.
he says with a ginormous smile on his face, I hope he snaps his leg.
I would love to see it. I don't want it to happen, but if it happened, I'd love to watch it.
That's crazy.
All
All right.
we're gonna need some psychological evaluations after this one.
The government has tuned in. We all just
gotta
got put
put
on a
Josh.
watch list.
Put Josh in concussion protocol for a couple of episodes.
Everyone went on YouTube and watched Chris Godwin's foot spin around.
But no, I did not actually. I
I
avoided
still
that.
haven't seen it.
I watched.
I'll take the word for it that it was bad.
Josh,
It was in the wrong direction, but
Josh and Connor alone have gotten us put on at least 10 government watch lists.
I'm gonna get on all the lists.
Alrighty, boys. Moving on to the Carrie Underwood game of the week. We got a good one. Cowboys at the Niners. San Fran's -4, over under 45.5. Also seems low for points.
You know what Carrie Underwood has been waiting not only all night for, but like 20 years for? A Cowboys win. Wow. I'm going to take the Cowboys here in a sneaky spot against the Niners team that no Ayuk, no Christian. Purdy can improvise all he wants. At some point, the Dallas offense is going to show up, and I think it's going to be on Sunday night prime time. And like you were saying earlier, the Jets about the pressure, bro, this team, you got to show it, man. The water's boiling. You got to show us what you got, Dallas. You're running out of time. Taking the Cowboys.
I said this a couple weeks ago. If Skip Bayless gives up on the Cowboys, then I'm definitely going to give up on the Cowboys, especially when they're playing a team like the 49ers, even though they haven't played great this season. I still think they're way better than Dallas's roster at this point. So give me the Niners. And then I think Ricky Parcel's going to play, right?
Who is?
Ricky Parcell?
He played last week.
Gotcha. How do you do?
He had 2 catches.
Not great.
One
You
or
could
two
definitely
catches.
tell he got shot.
He didn't look terrible. They just didn't have anyone else to throw to, so he was in the game. Like, Jawan Jennings was out, Debo was out, Ayuk's done for the year. So, okay. I'm gonna take Dallas. San Fran's super beat up, and it's just not looked like themselves. I mean, Dallas really hasn't looked like themselves either, but I think Dallas's offense gets it going. I think CD's gonna have a monster game in prime time. Give me Dallas, and I'm just, like, as a Packers fan, praying that the Niners find a way to not make the playoffs, so we actually have a chance to go to the Super Bowl, because we just cannot beat
That's
them.
a big deal.
So
Big deal.
I'm taking the Niners. They are, I think, second in the NFC in their division, NFC West, and they gotta string some wins together, even with the injuries. And the Cowboys' defense is very bad, especially against the run, which is what San Fran is still going to excel at, no matter what running back you throw in there. So, give me San Fran.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys' offense is gonna come alive, and the Cowboys are gonna win and get back on track. And San Fran is gonna continue to spiral. I don't know what's wrong with San Fran. Maybe is it a Brock Purdy issue? I don't know. I don't think CMC coming back is gonna help them start winning. Especially CMC is not gonna be 100%.
I mean, that's a crazy take. I feel like CMC, like, coming back, if they've waited this long on him, like, they're assuming, I think, when he does come back, that he should be 100%. And CMC is just, like, the ultimate game changer and can make, like, terrible quarterbacks look really good. I'm not saying that Purdy's terrible. I'm actually kind of on the Purdy train after trashing him last year, but I don't know. I think McCaffrey is, like, more important than Derrick Henry is. He's, like, the most important running back in the league.
I'm curious to see their approach with CMC, because it's like you're losing enough games to the point where you might want to rush them back and help you make the playoffs. But, like, if they lose too many games, like if they lose, like, the next 4 in a row, do you, like, chalk the season and say, let's save him for next year? You know, like, it's I don't think we're to that point yet, but I don't know.
With the
I was kind
new,
of thinking the same thing that P was saying. I don't think McCaffrey's going to be 100% the rest of his career. With what I've heard about his injury, but
yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I just think the Niners with the 7 team playoff format for NFC and AFC, I think it's a lot easier to make the playoffs, and you can kind of sneak in
Yes.
with a 9-win. So as long as you're not dropping, like the Niners would have to drop 4 more games to be in a spot where, which who knows, maybe they will. Hopefully they will.
they will. They're going to spiral.
I
I'm
want to
willing
make
it
one
in.
note. Since you said the 17 playoff format, I wanted to know that during the broadcast of the Jags Patriots game, they said if the Jags lost that game, it was a 0% chance they made the playoffs. That's how close the season was to being over in weeks.
That's devastating.
We're back. We won, and now we're gonna go lose to the Packs. Let's go.
I did miss one game, so we're gonna head back to the 4 o'clock games. We missed the
Okay.
Bears at Washington. Bears are -3 over under 43.5.
Do we know Jaden's ribs? He playing? He's probably gonna play, right?
Based on this
Nah.
line, I would assume he's not playing if the Bears are 3-point favorites on the road.
Okay.
I heard that he
The
is
Bears
playing.
is crazy, regardless, and I think I probably would have picked him even with Jaden. I just think this Bears defense. Caleb does a good job of not turning the ball over. Swift's finally touching the rock a little bit more. I like the Bears here.
I'm gonna bust out the asterisk for this one. I know it's hasn't won one yet, but I think this will be the first one. I think if Jaden plays, the commies win. If not, they don't. Right. So I think that's what this game comes down to. Caleb Williams has looked good the last few weeks. So you're definitely gonna need Jaden Daniels to compete with him. If you don't have Jaden Daniels, you don't have a chance, in my opinion. So
Regardless of if Jaden or Mariota plays, I think the Bears are frauds, and the Commanders' defense has been playing out of their minds. Like the Commanders' defense has just been so good, and the Bears' offense is honestly they've pieced it together a little bit the last couple of weeks. I mean, didn't Caleb Williams throw like 4 or 5 touchdowns in the game? But I just think the Bears are not as good as people think, and I think the Commanders are going to win here at home.
Bobby Wagner.
Mariota looked
Go.
good too. Like Mariota came right in and
I mean, he's a veteran.
Yeah.
Won a Heisman.
and he's mobile just like Jaden is. He's got that upside on third downs to be able to run for a first too. Give me Washington
What's
here.
the Panthers?
I mean, yeah, but still an NFL team.
I'm gonna go Bears here, regardless of who plays. Caleb's gonna show why he was the number 1 pick and Jaden Daniels wasn't. So
Ooh,
Well, that's a
love
hot
that
take.
take.
Jaden Daniels is definitely better than Caleb Williams. The Commanders' defense is middle of the road. Bears' defense is really good. I think the Bears win, but if Jaden Daniels plays, I think the Commanders would win. But I'm not doing any stick or anything. But I'll take the Bears.
Alrighty, moving on to our final game of the week, Monday Night Football. We got the Giants at the Steelers. Steelers are -6.5, over under 36.5. So sweeper, boys, to end it.
No,
I'm riding Giants here.
I'm on Giants as well. I know I've been taking the Giants a lot these past few weeks, and they haven't been rewarding me. But I really think that Malik Neighbors and Danny Dimes is a good connection. And I also just will refuse to pick Mr. Unlimited. I don't care how good he looks against the Jets. So I'm picking against Russell, and I'm picking on my boy Malik to win this game with like 20 receptions.
You said the line was 6.5.
Correct.
Gotcha. Yeah, that surprised me. I thought it would be closer to like 2.5 or 3. So I think this one's just a toss-up, to be honest. I don't really have a reason I'm picking the Giants. I think Pittsburgh's a good team. I think Giants are okay, and they can, contend with a team like Pittsburgh here and there. So, yeah, give me Danny Dimes and Malik Neighbors have a good game.
They're gonna test Russ's mobility with Big Dexter and Brian coming down. That's the one thing they got is pass rush, and we're about to see old man Russ run for his life. I'm actually really curious.
Russ looked pretty solid last week, mobility-wise. I mean, not
He
obviously
did, but this
to
Jets
Fields
pass
level.
rush, I don't know. The Jets have just been weird for years.
Yeah, I'm on Pittsburgh. More so, I mean, Russ played an awesome game. I was on the train where Fields should have continued to start, but Russ proved me wrong a little bit. I'm still not fully on the belief train of Russ, but I am a huge believer in that Pittsburgh defense. And we already talked about who the MVP of the league is in Josh Allen. Let's talk about the defensive player of the year in TJ Watt. That guy just shifts games. Just it's so frustrating the Packers passed on him because he went into the first round, and obviously he went to Wisconsin. So like we loved TJ, and we already knew about JJ, and if that dude just can stay healthy, he's a lock for defensive player of the year. It's gonna be Pittsburgh.
I'm also taking Pittsburgh.
What you got, Josh?
I hate Josh, dude.
The Steelers' defense is really good, and Danny Dimes is going to get set after this game. That's my prediction.
That might be the third time we've heard you say those words. So
The Steelers' defense is really good.
no, that Danny Dimes is going to get benched. You've been calling for Drew Lock since like week 3.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think he's the answer, but it would be nice if he threw for 4,000 yards. That would be really beneficial to me.
Yeah, every other quarterback got hurt or has been trash. Basically, out of my 40 parlays, I think I got like 2 alive. So you're saying there's a chance. You boys got anything else you want to add before we wrap up the pod this week?
I think I'm all set.
I feel like tensions were really high on this podcast today.
Jeff's watching parlays unfold, so he's probably unhappy with what he's seeing.
I was half paying attention. I didn't even know what games we were going over until people started saying players' names.
Jeff was not locked in this one, that's for sure.
It's all right though. We'll get P's.
That's why he's gonna run the beer mile.
We'll get P's face back on the pod next week too, which is always a plus. Getting all the cams on.
Yes, sir.
Any last calls? Any locks you love this week? Any last minute things?
How do you guys feel about the Buccaneers playing their starters when the game is over and making Chris Godwin be done for the season?
Todd Bowles is for the people.
I am on Todd Bowles' side 100%. It was a 2-score game. They had already recovered an onside, and they were almost at midfield with like a minute 30. Your starter should be in.
If it's the Super Bowl, yeah. But other than that, I would say your starter shouldn't be in.
My biggest disagreement was with playing Mikey. I mean, the dude was limping on the first play of the game. Like, it's the middle of the season. Let's let Mike get a week or 2 off to heal up. Like, why are we forcing? I don't know. The Mike thing felt more forced to me than the Godwin thing was what it was. But
well, even after you see Mike Evans go down for the game, they're down 3 scores. All their starters are in. They score, do an onside, get it. So I don't know. I mean, if it's the playoffs or if your season's on the line, yeah,
right.
Start them. But I wouldn't have started them. Also, it hurt me in fantasy, so maybe that's just my fantasy talking. I don't know.
I feel like too many teams throw in the towel too early. Like, obviously, Rodgers got pulled with like 11 minutes in the fourth quarter of a game. I get it; they were down like 20, but like, I just don't. I'm in the mindset where you play. If there's a chance you can win the game, you should be playing your starters.
Yeah. That's all I got for this week.
Sweet, boys. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys aren't subbed, make sure to sub. Follow us on Twitter, TikTok. If you made it this far, wow. Surprised, honestly. Thank you.
We're proud of you.
Appreciate it, yeah. Let's keep bumping these numbers up. We'll keep growing the pod and hopefully making some content that you guys like. We'll see. But love you guys, and we will see you next week. Peace.